Good evening, everyone. Today is Sunday, December the 3rd. I'm coming on real quick because I have dedicated this month into speaking, preparing myself for a new beginning for 2018. Today, the topic is searching for that peace that surpasses all understanding. This week alone, starting on Wednesday, I think it was. Wednesday, a church member's mother died. Thursday, one of our associate pastors died. Friday, one of my good friends found her mother dead that morning. Saturday, one of my friend's cousins passed. And today, my what is he to me? My step nephew, his mother died. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, somebody that's real close to me or close to somebody that I'm close to has passed. So what do you do when you're facing these type of situations? It's hard. Last year in May, I lost a nephew and a cousin. And then I think March we lost a cousin. And then November we lost my oldest sister, and then 3 weeks after her we lost my oldest nephew. And last month I lost my mother's last aunt. So it's just been a whirlwind. And so what do you do when things around you are changing? I remember watching T.D. Jakes one time on television, and he was with this guy, and the guy had a kidney transplant, and he was saying that what you have to do is get a new normal, and that's so true. And every day people are facing this, because as sure as someone lives, someone dies. As sure as you live, you're gonna also die. So, and that's hard on people. You know, somebody you see every day living in the house with you pass, it's really, really, really hard. So what do we do? Trying to find that peace that surpasses all understanding. Let's go to Philippians chapter 4, verse 4. It said, "Be full of joy in the Lord always." I will say it again, be full of joy. Let everyone see that you are gentle and kind. The Lord is coming soon. Do not worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks. And God's peace, which is so great we cannot understand it, will keep your hearts and mind in Christ Jesus. And in the other, this is it's not the New King James, because it says, and let's see, it says, and God's peace, which surpasses all understanding, will keep your hearts and mind in Christ Jesus. So, what do you do? How do you find that peace? I've dealt with this before. You just pray. You just continue to pray. I'm telling you, it works. It works. It works. It works. My son is now 17. When he first started going to, before he started going to school, I really didn't, I couldn't see a difference. I think he probably walked at 14. I don't want to make this too long, but I'm just kind of giving you a little background. But what drove me to having to be able to share this, because I've experienced it. And I never want to come on here and think and say I know everything, but firsthand I've experienced this. And so when he was first diagnosed with autism, it was very, very, very hard, because my two daughters were honor students, graduated high school with honors, did well in college, and so and I've always been rather smart, but it was very, very hard. You know, I really can't explain the emotions I had back then. So I just continued to pray, and I started reading the Bible more, and I got back into church, but if you don't have a prayer life, and if you don't desire to do good to other people, it's going to be hard for you. But you can get there if you start by praying. You start by forgiving people. You start by, just being kind. But what I want to tell you is, you have to learn that every time something bad happens, it's not going to stay bad. You understand what I'm saying? You're just going to go through that. You're going through. You're not meant to stay there. So I always, when something bad happens now, I'm like, Lord, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to show me? That's the first thing I think. Because I'm thinking, okay, something bad is happening, but I'm not going to stay in that bad situation. You know, and we're human. We have feelings. We're going to hurt. We're going to have that anxiety. We're going to be, may cry over it or whatever. But you find ways to deal with it. I won't say an introvert, but I deal with a lot of things differently than other people because, like I told you before, I find a lot of solace in the kitchen. I just really do. It's just soothing to me. But you have to learn to let go of things. First of all, when something bad happens, what do? Well, you got to try to find the good in the situation. What am I supposed to learn from it? You know, that's how I try to deal with things. And one thing I know too is that everybody go through emotions. You're going to be sad, you're going to be angry, you're going to be hurt. But those things are temporary. And those are emotions, but then you still have your joy. So emotions change, but let your joy continue to be there. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does or not, but that's what I'm telling you. I always find joy. And in that joy, you can find your peace. But you can't go around being bitter, ugly, judgmental, conniving, manipulative, and still search for peace. Because in the midst of all that confusion, how can peace even come in? So start by being kind, waking up thanking you, and thanking the people who have helped you along the way. That's very important. You know what? A lot of times people that have helped you to get where you are the people that's mostly forgotten. A lot of people that make those steps to succeed, and once they get there, they never look back. But God will elevate you to lift somebody else up, not to put them down. But that's what happens a lot of times, especially in our community. People praise those that have and look down on those who don't. And that's not how you're supposed to live. I'm always trying to help somebody. Always. Like I told you yesterday, it's just satisfying when you can help somebody else. Some people are just so superficial and materialistic. And I'm telling you, things are good. But you know what? You can have all those things and still don't have that peace. So, you know, do things for the right reason. And if you're in an organization that's supposed to be helping people and you're only there because you're gaining something, then you're in it for the wrong reason. You're in it for the wrong reason. And to get that peace, start being more prayerful, being more kind, more understanding. And I know sometimes it gets hard, especially when you're dealing with some people that are just conniving, low down, and dirty. But you know, you can go in a place when there are people like that, and the way you act can change them. Have you ever experienced that? I have. I really and truly have. So I'm not going to be on here long. I hope y'all understood what I was trying to say. But, you know, people going through things, a lot of death, a lot of dying, especially, you know, kids in situations we talked about that the other day. Parents, both of the parents on drugs. They're from one house to another, a lot of people on the streets, and it's just so much going on in the world. And if you can find peace in a situation like that, you're blessed. You're really, really blessed. And I know I was in college for 2 years, and then I set out and went to work. I subbed first, and then I went to work for this, went to work at Kmart actually, and wasn't satisfied. So I went back to start going back to school. They worked around my schedule. I went back to school. I graduated. Still wasn't satisfied. I always thought that once I got my degree, I'd be satisfied because I could get me a professional job. But you know what was missing? I didn't have a spiritual life the way I should. But when I got back in the church and I started listening and started believing, and the more I went, the better I got. I'm at peace now, I really can say. It's not easy. It's not like that every day. But every time something bad happens, I always say, you know what, God? You trying to tell me something. And every once in a while you say, you know what, you acting up. But it works, y'all. I'm telling you. You know, and then, you know, you had a situation where people don't like somebody. You're a grown lady. You don't like a person because somebody else don't like them. Isn't it so elementary? Stop doing that. Anyway, y'all, let me get off of here. Work tomorrow. Meetings tomorrow. Good night. God bless. Happy holidays. Bye.